Okay, so what should my budget be for Facebook ads? I'm just going to go straight into it. If you want the boring answer, if you're a complete beginner and you have no idea what you're doing with Facebook ads, 2 times your target CPA as a minimum. So if you know that you can afford to pay $30 for a purchase or for a lead, then $60 per day is your budget. That's basically what you can run off. If you're a complete beginner and you have no idea how to figure out your budget or what you should tell your client, then that's what I would recommend. That's basically the easiest response. If you want to actually understand how you can figure this out and get a little bit more information, then you can stick around for the rest of this video. So what I would say is that you're asking the wrong question. Your budget is a tool to figure out exactly how a test, when you're running a creative, how that test performs. And really what it's telling you is, how much do I need to spend to know if an ad is profitable or not? If you know this, then you should be able to figure out your budget in reverse. You should be able to know, well, if I need to spend, X amount on each ad to know if it's a winner, then I should probably be spending X amount per day in order to quickly get that feedback and make decisions more quickly. So I actually set up an example ad account on this page as kind of like a sample ad account with what a lot of you guys, what your accounts might look like at the moment, and sort of use it to illustrate exactly what you can expect and how you can figure out how much you should be spending every day. So this is just a basic ad account. We're not doing any fancy targeting or a bunch of ad sets or anything like that. So we've got a CBO campaign on $50 per day. We've got 1 ad set, and then we've got 5 ads here. Now I've got $10 on each of these ads per day. You can see here that this even distribution never happens. You're never going to see every single ad spend the exact same amount per day, and especially not over 3 or 4 days. They're all going to spend a varying amount. But if we go off our rules that we made before of, you should be spending at least 2 times your CPA per day. Well, in order to know if an ad is profitable or if it's going to work, we should probably be spending 2 times our target CPA on each ad as well. So that means that we should be spending around $50 on each of these ads before making the decision to turn it off. Because if you spend $20, you haven't even spent enough to basically hit your target CPA. So you wouldn't turn this ad off if you'd only spent $20. So if we keep going down the list, we would basically need to spend $50 on each ad. We'd need 5 days as a minimum. The reason I say minimum is because this isn't going to happen. You're not going to spend $10 on each day. So it's likely that you're actually going to need more than 5 days to actually decide whether or not these ads have worked or not. So this can give you a bit of an understanding of how much you need to be spending based on how many ads you're running. So it does scale very directly. If you're only running 2 ads, you can probably spend less than $50 a day because you're going to get a better result. It also obviously depends on what your target CPA is. If it's higher, you're going to need to spend more. Now, in practice, how do you actually manage these tests as you're doing them? There's basically no YouTube content that I've found that actually tells you how to properly do tests. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example using the exact same ad account that I just showed you. So after 5 days, this is a more realistic amount of spend that's going to be allocated to each ad. So you can see here, we've got a lot of spend on one ad hasn't really picked up that much spend, and then you have sort of the mid-tier where a lot of the ads are sort of getting around that $10 per day, but they're not getting the entire amount, and it's sort of spread out. This is what your ad account will probably look like. If anything, it will be even more weirdly distributed. So this one might be like $100 and this one might be like $10 or something like that, which is probably more accurate, but I'm just using this for the example's sake because it's going to be easier to illustrate how you can actually run these tests. So basically what I would say here is you can see here that these ads are red and these ads are in the green, and then this one in the middle is yellow. Red represents that you should probably turn it off. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Even after spending $70 or $60 out of like your budget, I still wouldn't probably recommend turning these off, because unless you're spending a lot of money on ads, like at least more than $100 or $200 on an ad, it's very hard to tell if it's ever going to work. So I'm using this example more so because I know a lot of you might be running ads for clients where money is a bit tight and they can't afford to just waste $100 on an ad that doesn't work. So what I would do is I would turn off these ads if they haven't gotten a result, because they've already gone over your target CPA. So they've gone over by your target CPA is 25 and they've gone over 2x your CPA already, so I'd turn them off. The reason this one is yellow is because if it's at 50, I would usually give it like another day, because it's only just got to 2 times your target CPA. If a lead or a purchase was to come through and then, the ad starts to further optimize. It could pick up 2 more tomorrow, and then all of a sudden this ad is profitable. So I'm not sure if I would turn this one off. I'd probably give it an extra day, but this is more up to you guys. If you have a client that's tight with money, you're probably going to want to turn ads off a little bit earlier, which is one reason that I don't work with clients that are tight with money and don't have the budget to be able to spend, because if they can't afford to, waste a little bit of money, then they're never going to find big winners and get really good results. These ones here we're going to leave on because they haven't spent the $50, the 2 times CPA yet. This is obviously going to change if the ads have gotten results. So if this ad had gotten a result, for example, I would leave it on, and then you go back to the 2 times CPA rule for the next conversion. If any of these ads have results, you wouldn't turn them off at this point just because they haven't spent enough money. And, a result in the first 2 times CPA of your budget is actually a good result. It could end up becoming a big winner. So this is assuming that you still have gotten no results and you spent roughly like $250. I'm not sure what this adds up to, but I tried to make it roughly 5 times 50. So, and then basically what you would do is, assuming that you haven't got any results yet and you still have these 2 ads turned on, and say you have turned this one off as well, and obviously these ones are off, then you would basically do these steps. So like I said, if you have no results, you would make entirely new creatives and publish them to the account. So make them extremely unique and different to the ones you've tested. So how that would look is you would have these 2 still on, and you would probably launch at least another 2 or 3 ads that are completely different to this, and this. It'd be completely different angle, completely different format maybe. If you do have results on any of these, so let's say maybe this one has actually got a purchase or a conversion already, and so is this one, you would double down on those ones that are working, and you would make variants using different formats or different messaging. So that could mean making a carousel with the same messaging and the same captions as a video that's performing well, or it could be taking a carousel or a still image and turning that into a video concept. So you're doubling down on the messaging that's working, or if a particular format is working really well, like carousels, you can try different messaging inside of carousels. So you could make a bunch more carousels and then see if they work. This can be really good for like catalog ads. Some companies see really good results for purchases with catalog ads. So then what you can do is you just keep making more catalog ads with different copy and different titles and things like that to see what converts. So that's basically the action plan that you would take in the event that you're not getting results in the first couple of days. But the one thing I'd like to leave off before you click off the video is that if you're running ads and you can't afford to waste a couple $100, it's probably too early to be running ads, because at the end of the day, testing an ad creative does take money, and a lot of the time you are going to have to run 10, 15, 20, 30 creatives before you find a really big winner that you can spend multiple tens of thousands of dollars or even up to $100,000 on. So you need to be able to burn some money, and if you have clients that can't afford to do that, then it's going to be very hard to make it work. So my advice would be that if you can't afford to test very much, start on a very small budget and only test 1 or 2 ads at a time. And it's going to take you ages to find a winner, but eventually you probably will find a winner by doing that. But if you're trying to spend $20 a day and you're testing 30 or 40 different ad creatives, you're never going to get good results, because you're just not giving Facebook enough data or enough time to actually build up conversions and figure out what people want to see. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. And yeah, thanks for watching.